Here we got a new one here. It's kind of an oddball. Awards Damascus Rotary. In a pretty cool case. It does use a friction wheel. Kind of strange. We got some cool plugs here. And this second one is the power cord. Bobbin case cover opens up kind of weird. Standard tension. Not sure what we got right here, but I'll figure it out. Pretty standard bobbin case for a rotary, and I think that's just your standard rotary bobbin that would probably fit in most all of the rest of the rotary machines. Underneath looks pretty common. By the way, there's a button here that unlatches. Looks like we got a little damage here to this case. I think I'll try and fix that, glue it back together so we don't goof it up anymore. Okay, here we are. I don't even think I need this one. I think this pressure is holding this bottom in. Oh, that ought to do. Okay, let's take a look in here. See what we got. That's what I thought that was, a check spring, but it wasn't moving up and down. got a very tight place to move up and down in. Huh. Nice little check spring. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Oh, okay, so with the foot down, it's got a lot more room to move. That makes sense. Really not that dirty. That might be the kind of thing you just want to leave alone. Because if it breaks out of this plate, then our guide's gone. I don't know how well you can see that. You got some little cracks right there, but it's not going to move. And like I said, some things you might just want to leave alone because it will work as a guide as is. Okay, something I've noticed different about this rotary machine is the hand wheel does indeed rotate counterclockwise. The other friction wheel driven rotaries do indeed go what we consider to be backwards, and I don't know why this particular rotary they decided to do that, but anyways, there you go. Now let's wind a bobbin, or at least try to. These are proprietary bobbins. They're not interchangeable with any other machine I know, mostly because the inside here is much larger than other bobbins that fit in rotary machines. I think I need to adjust that a bit so I don't have to hold it. Still a little bit more. I'll get there eventually. There we go, that looks a little better. Full bobbin stop needs to be adjusted a tad. Yep, there we go. With this thing. Thread this machine here. It's pretty crazy. The one thing you got to realize is that this isn't a tension disc, it's a tension pulley. So there's no two discs squeezing together. There's the tension pulley is loaded with a spring that has a piece of felt up against this pulley that makes it harder and harder to turn. Anyways, we got a funny little thing here on top that goes straight down to this tension pulley all the way around underneath this hook, and it picks up the check spring. Let me re-engage my hand wheel clutch. And we're going to go through the take-up arm. Oops. I always want to do that way, but you want to come from the outside like that. Then into this lower catch, and then into the needle bar hook. Okay, let's put a needle in here. We want the groove of the needle facing this way. The hook picks up the needle on the back side here. And the thread goes through the needle from left to right. And of course, let's load our bobbin in the bobbin case. And you want that going in with the thread winding clockwise. Pull it into the slot and underneath the tension spring. Now for right now, I'm not going to adjust that bobbin case spring. Yeah, I'm gonna, because it's pretty tight. There we go. That might be too loose. That's probably good right there. Let's try that. Alrighty, let's see if we can pick up this thread. Wow, it takes a different needle. Interesting. Yeah, if I shove that up all the way, it will not work. So I'm going to have to do a little research there and figure out what exactly is going on there. While we're here, let's see if it'll even sew. And of course there is no reverse. Something's a little tight there, just a tad. Whoops. No, not tight enough. That's going to be an upper tension problem. Not looking real good yet. Tighten that upper tension wheel. Oh, now I'm not even picking up. Huh. I'll have to do some work on that. Figure that out. Once I figure it out, I'll let you know. So, this machine did have a needle in it, but it was broken right at the eye. And when you line that up with the eye of a standard needle, you see how much longer, when you line it up with the eye of another standard needle, you can see how much longer that shank is. So we do have an issue with the size of the needle, although I can make this one work by just pulling it out far enough so that it will pick up the bottom thread. Alrighty, well, I did get it to sew, but it was a constant adjustment of the needle length here. Taking the needle plate off and watching the hook pick up that thread underneath the plate. And the upper tension pulley adjustment, if you get it just a little too tight, it skips stitches. If you get it too loose, it bundles up underneath. Right now I think I got her. Oops. Of course I caught my thread. Get out of there. That's what I get for showing off. Got a couple little fluffers here, but this is really cheap thread. Also, I believe the correct needle would help, because I'm just adjusting that length of that needle so the eye is close to where it should be with the hook, but I don't know if it's exactly where it should be. So I'll either adjust the length of the needle bar, pull it down a millimeter or two, or see if I can find the right needles. I've never ran into a machine that had to have longer needles. Most, well, especially the new home rotaries, you need the shorter needle. And anywho, interesting machine. Oh, and the light does work. I I guess that's all for now. Well, if I would have just paid a little more attention on this needle finding expedition, I wouldn't have had to work so hard. Apparently, somebody had the needle size written down, or needle class, I should say, 20x1. I finally found some place that had them, but only one place. And by the time I got them, after paying for them and the shipping, they're $5 a piece. But they do work perfect. Sews like a champ. I gotta say one other thing. While I'm storing this, I am relieving, get some light in on this, relieving some pressure on the friction wheel here so it doesn't get a bump in it. A lot of times if they're stored with pressure on there, you'll get a bump, and then of course you notice the bump when you're sewing. Anyways, you just loosen the set screw on here, pull it that direction just a little bit to take the pressure off of the wheel. When you're ready to sew again, just loosen the set screw, push her back in so it's snug, and off you go. Anyways, whoever's trying to figure out how this thing really works, I hope this helped you. The biggest problem I have, again, was getting this upper threading a little bit strange. Anyways, enjoy. Talk to you again soon.